The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
This is All Things Elite. Welcome back to All Things Elite. Load up the pod, man, it's on when we speak. Rich right here, let me warm it up for Austin and Floyd. Couldn't be no one but the boys. When it come to All Things Elite from the fan perspective, swear, man, it ain't no question. Hear from them first. Swear, man, they putting in the work. No, they had to get me for the verse. Social Suplex Network's on. I was at a time in your headphones. Austin and Floyd on the microphone. Backing out on the ring, getting in the zone. Pulling up the show, give it 7 stars, you already know. Who else could it be but the show with the proclivity for positivity? I'm gone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 232nd episode of Social Suplex's podcast about AEW with a proclivity for positivity. Elite. My name is Austin Sumwitz, and I am the host of this lovely show. Joining with me back from St. Louis, back from the most recent, we just wrapped up this past weekend, back from AEW Dynasty, is my good buddy and friend, Mr. Floyd. How are you doing, my man? How'd you enjoy your time?
You can find me in St. Louis. I had a really good time. As I've mentioned on the show, I was actually born in St. Louis, Missouri. And it was funny until like Royal Rumble a few years ago, I had never seen a wrestling show in St. Louis. I left a little bit before I was 3 and then raised in Oklahoma. So as much as I love my town, that I was born in, and it's pretty much the foundation of who I am, I had never seen wrestling there. So I saw WWE, Royal Rumble, and now I was getting to see home AEW. I tell people that. They were like, we know you watch both. And I'm like, I do. I watch both. I watch both pretty much religiously. There is no like cult or whatever. What is it called? Stanism with me. I watch them both religiously. But if you ask me where my heart lies, it lies with professional wrestling, and where they do professional wrestling is AEW. So I was very happy to get back to the show. It was just this, and when I know I'm going to the AEW show, I just have this energy about me. And then I was going with Dave Finishill, and I was going to Rich Latta, the man, Rich Latta. If you didn't know, he does our music to open up the show. And it was just really excited because I don't think us three have ever traveled or went together as a three, I almost said a threesome, but I mean as a group, so it was really cool. Rich coming in from Atlanta, Dave coming in from New York, me coming in from Oklahoma, and I drove, and the first drive was an insane drive, but if I told everybody my schedule and how much I actually slept versus did anything this week, they'd be like, oh, you're a machine. And I was like, it's not, it's just when that switch is on, when that wrestling switch is on, I don't slow down.
Oh yeah, no, it's just go, go, go.
Yeah, so I was very excited to be there. Actually saw a Cardinals game, and it was like the coldest baseball game ever because my friend bought us tickets. He was so nice to get us tickets, but we were on the roof, and it was cold, and it was very, very cold. Yeah. And I'm not that big a baseball fan as it is, so I was cold, and we were at a baseball game. I was like, yeah, we can go anytime you want to. And then the Brewers got up by like 9-4 in the 6th inning. I was like, why are we still here? And I think they won 10 or 11-4 or something like that. So I saw the Cardinals play. I grew up with, you could imagine, a lot of Cardinals fans, but I don't think they're the best right now. But
I think they're more middle of the road at this point.
Yes, that is all to say. I was very happy to be there, and it was funny. I posted on Facebook as a joke. I said I wanted to see Albert Pujols hit a home run, or Pujols hit a homer, as I put it. And someone says, "Isn't he retired?" I was like, you didn't get the joke. The joke is I don't watch baseball. So my only reference for St. Louis Cardinals is Albert Pujols, somebody that's been retired for I think at least 3 years. So I don't know.
Yeah, he's been retired for a bit. Yeah,
he's been retired. So no, I was like, yeah.
And also St. Louis, they're 10-14. So like I said, not the best, but not the worst. But it's also early.
Yeah, I saw one of the 14. Boom. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
That's funny.
Yeah, grabbing one of those losses in St. Louis.
Yeah, you know what? They were giving away windbreakers that day. Of course.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Of course, it did not fit because, they try to generally when they give them away, it's either large or extra large. I can't rock that. So.
Yeah.
But no, that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool little gift, especially when it ended up being cold.
Oh, for sure. I bet. Yeah. But we're going to get into Floyd's time at AEW Dynasty in St. Louis. We're going to talk about it because, this man, at least like 15 times throughout the entire show, probably more so.
Dude.
That was the match.
World famous.
Or do you want to talk about it right now?
No. We'll talk about it as it goes. Yeah, I was like, no, I got on the TV quite a bit. We'll talk about it. Like I remembered the time specifically I was on, so we'll talk about them as we go through the show. So, but yeah, I'm excited. I really enjoyed this show, and it's a testament to AEW because everybody wants to say this is the best AEW show ever, and I'm just like, what I've learned is like every pay-per-view feels like one of the best ever at the time. So I'm a wait a minute kind of guy. I'm not gonna say it's the best ever right now. If I'm still thinking about it in a week or two, I might go, but it's just like we'll wait.
Right. We're gonna pause for a moment and then we'll see how it hangs. But
yes.
We're gonna get into the entirety of the show, give our thoughts of it, and we're gonna run down every single match on the card. Before we get into it, guys, we want to make sure you guys are supporting the podcast. From you choose to listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever the case may be. Give us a share with your friends, family, coworkers, if you wish. Rate, review, subscribe so you don't miss a single episode, and follow us on Twitter. You can follow us at AAT Elite Pod. You can also follow at Social Suplex, who make this show possible. Check out all the other shows they have, including One Nation Radio. You can check out. I am at Austin Sumowitz, SZUMOWICZ, and Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. We're just going to go ahead and get right into AEW Dynasty. We'll start off with 0 Hour. We had 3 0 Hour matches take place, which opened up with Trent Beretta going one-on-one with St. Louis's own Matt Sydal. I was very happy, at least, that we started things off with having best friends included in some sort of way, because they had a massive shakeup with them breaking up, and I wanted to make sure that this storyline had some at least momentum and help behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like once he turned, then we didn't see him the next week, and then they were on Rampage but didn't say much, and then they kind of were on Dynamite a little bit for the most part, but no real interactions between the two. This was the first time I felt like we started to kind of get the ball moving on what this storyline is going to like feature and like what it's going to be centered around and everything like that. The match itself between Sydal and Trent was solid. Sydal was able to get a lot of pretty solid offense in there. Crowd was really supportive for him. Trent continuing to be just steady as he comes and just doing really, really solid stuff. And how it went was basically Trent was able to get a nice knee strike. They were trading like dodges and kicks and really good offensive attacks until when Trent proceeded to hit that knee strike. He then put a chokehold on Matt. Sydal tapped out, but he would not let go of the hold until Mike Sydal, who came out with him, he came into the ring and jumped. And then he started beating up both of the Sydals. And that's when Chuck Taylor runs in and he chases him out of the ring. And Trent doesn't even he immediately grabs the mic and basically tells him you haven't returned my calls. You haven't returned my texts. You basically need to tell me this Wednesday. You have until Dynamite to tell me where you stand. Like, are you on my side or not with this whole thing? So all he said, and that's when Orange Cassidy comes out for his match, and he just stares down Trent from the top of the ramp, and he's caught in the middle between both Chuck, who's still in the ring, and Orange Cassidy, who's up the ramp. And then when Shibata comes out, he pisses off. He's immediately running back up the tunnel because God knows you don't want to look at Shibata the wrong way. Thought the match itself was pretty solid, and I thought the fact that we were at least getting something with this inner best friends feud was at least encouraging, and knowing that we're going to have something this Wednesday makes me happy because I just want to see like what the move is for these guys. You know, I want to see what we're trying to build towards and all that kind of stuff, and just how these guys like try to make this feud mean something, because best friends are one of the OG AEW teams. I would like to see them have something meaningful, and I think they have a chance to do some good stuff on Wednesday.
Well, people might ask, why is Matt Sydal on a pay-per-view? Even if it's in the 0 hour, why is Matt Sydal on a pay-per-view? Matt Sydal is the pride of St. Louis, Missouri. So
Hometown boy.
His brother was there. That was cool. The hometown boy got to have a match. I think that's something that happens in AEW that doesn't necessarily happen elsewhere. You know, like, we're going to get you on the card because you're from here. You know, it's not, you might not win, but you're going to get on the card. And he got a really good reaction when he came out. I think he stood right next to me at this, right when he came in. So we were like staring at each other. And, and so I think that, I really do think that was like my first time on screen, but still going forward, the match was good. I was wondering what Trent was going to do. I love the fake hug into the knee, how that's part of his match. And now he uses the knee to do the go-go plotter, a.k.a. the Hell's Gate, as his finisher. The Undertaker did it a little differently, as like he wrapped his left leg, or I think around his right leg, so it looked more like a lock. I'm hoping Trent does that in the future, because the way he did it just looked like you could escape really easily if you wanted to. So I'm hoping with the as going forward. I like the move. I've always liked the Hell's Gate. I've always liked the go-go plotter as a wrestling move. Make it look more snug. But I thought Trent looked good in the match. I thought Matt Sydal did great in the match. It served its purpose. And then, the whole talking to Chucky T. Chucky T is not saving any, he's not attacking Trent, but he's also not helping Trent attack the person. He's really playing that middle. He doesn't know what to do. He didn't see it coming. Then Orange Cassidy comes down, and then they stare at each other, and it's like, I think even in this glare, it was that Orange Cassidy was hurt. It wasn't that he was mad. He is mad, but he was more hurt. He's heartbroken. That's why he didn't just come out and run and attack Trent, because he's heartbroken.
Yeah, because he hasn't hurt him or anything. Like, neither of them have. Like Trent hasn't made physical contact. He didn't help Orange Cassidy when he was getting beat up last week, but he hasn't attacked him other than when they broke up, like right then and there. And he hasn't done anything to Chucky T. You there?
Yeah, because he hasn't done anything, right? And there was this
he hasn't done anything to Chucky T.
Yeah, there was this long relationship like glare as he backs out and goes out of the ring. And then, of course, Orange Cassidy's other friend, Shibata, comes out. And then they have a tag match against one of my favorite groups coming up. I got the shirt and the hat on the way. STP. Shane Taylor Productions. Yeah, Montezzi on the track. Shane Taylor comes and gives Montezzi he was a rapper, Montezi, one of Swerve's closest friends. He was standing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and Shane Taylor, because he's the voice on the song. I've heard Montezi rap. I've bought Montezi's albums. I had never really listened, just like paid attention that was him. Rich actually had told me about it, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Because as soon as I listened for it, I was like, oh, that is Montezi. So that was cool. They had a good match. Shane Taylor, Lee Moriarty, great. They're a team that doesn't win. Like, let's just be honest. I can't really sugarcoat it. But I always say Shane Taylor has the best promos ever. He literally sounds like he has won every match he's ever fought in. He has never lost a fight. I fucking love his promos. And Lee Moriarty
Shane sounds so, like, whether it's on promos or in matches, I could hear it especially in this match. The dude talks like he knows how to fight. The dude talks like you don't want to mess with him. And like he's winning me over big time. You've bigged up Shane Taylor for the longest time, but he's really starting to win me over recently.
Yeah, and it's just like his presence and everything, just being consistent and just keeps having good matches, and it's like that's what he does. And him and Moriarty, another good match. I mean, of course they didn't win. This wasn't about them. But you know what? Again, sometimes you can lose and get over. You can lose and grow your fan base. I'm like I said,
dude, when he chopped the living shit out of, I think it was Orange Cassidy. He chopped the living shit out of, and Lee Moriarty, I think, was staring off on the ring apron like, dog, you just killed that man.
Yeah, that was one. That was like one of my first big reactions because the Chavez Arena is where the St. Louis Billikens play, so it holds about. It's not, they're not a big Division I team, so it holds about 5,000 or 6,000 wrestling fans. But the acoustics, as far as how the wrestling fans sound.
Dude, it sounded like the crowd was going all night.
Dude, I have been in 15,000 seat arenas that didn't sound that good. So I thought that was really cool how the acoustics kept it in there. So when he hit that slap, it sounded like a shotgun went off in the arena, and I thought that was great. Him and Moriarty, like, they always put on great, consistent work. It's not their time right now. They've added my boy Anthony Ogogo. He's probably less than my boy after this match, after I tell y'all what happened. But they do it well with the punch to the gut, the distractions. But of course, OC and Shibata pulls it out, and it was a good match. It was good. Yeah, I thought the moment of them having, I think it was Shane in the corner, and Shibata's doing like the kick chop move, and then Orange Cassidy does the chillax chop, like the no effort chop, and then they just start like increasing it more, and then Orange Cassidy starts increasing it more with intensity. I thought that was a really good spot. And like I said, I thought Shane Taylor especially was really given the chance to shine. This was a solid match. Like I said, Shane Taylor, like, he's really starting to grow on me as like a guy who I can support like for a very, very long time. I thought he was especially good to shine in this match. Lee Moriarty, I thought, did well as well, and he got a chance to shine. And Shibata and OC work really well together. But I now hope that they get this win, and now you can go on to Wednesday and get some big momentum out of this storyline for the best friends breaking up. Because I still don't agree with it. I still think they could be your tag team champions right now if you actually wanted them to be. But if you're going to break them up, I hope at least that the story they tell starting on Wednesday is meaningful and engaging in something that the fans can really sink their teeth into. You have to use it to elevate Trent to that next level. That's what it has to do.
Exactly.
I mean, it has to elevate Trent, or maybe even Chucky T, depending on which side he picks.
I think both of them, because I think, people best friends, but maybe not to the level that I like them. But they never really thought them as more of as a joke, funny tag team that sometimes does stuff like, oh, we'll have them come out in Rick and Morty masks and stuff like that. I think they can genuinely be more than that. So I hope this feud, because Orange Cassidy is already a star in AEW. It's a matter of Chucky and Trent getting the chance to really like be big. And since Chucky's caught in the middle of this whole thing, I think he gets a chance to really look good as well. And Trent can be spectacular too if given the opportunity.
All right. Well, at the end
to the last 0 hour match.
I was gonna say at the end of the match, as they were coming out, I was like, "Oh, STP." I was like, "I'll go. You'll get him next time." And he came up to me like he was about to give me a 5 and flipped me off. I should have known it was coming. I should have known it was coming. I was a noob in that moment. I was really excited that Anthony Go-Go was gonna give me 5. And he came up like within an inch and then flipped me off. I was like, God damn it. And everybody laughed. Oh, you got this. I was like, I did. I understand. But that's my guy. I love me some Go-Go, So I know. Yeah, he flipped me off. I was like, my soul dropped.
He was getting some good comments on commentary for sure. So I know you guys weren't able to hear him, but he was getting some good shots in on commentary.
Yeah, I plan on watching the show back, and I watched FTR and the Young Bucks back today on TV, because I wanted to know. But yeah, I plan on watching a little bit more of the show.
Yeah. Well, we'll move on to the final 0 hour match, which is the winner take all titles for titles trios match between the AEW World Trios Champions, the Acclaimed, and Daddy Ass versus the Ring of Honor World 6-Man Champions, the Bang Bang Gang, Switchblade Jay White, and the Guns. Now, we can't talk about the match itself because my boy got scissored. We got to talk about my boy getting scissored.
Yes. Before the match, Max Caster got his groove back and gave an all-time old school vintage Max Caster rap. I even said vintage Max Caster because he didn't miss a line. There was no stutter. He was killing it. And then Anthony.
This was legit.
This was legit. What?
This was legit Platinum Max.
Yeah, this was him. And then Anthony Bowens stopped him from saying a naughty word, and then said, scissor me, and literally there was 3 guys right there, and I had my 2 fingers out, and we scissored quite a bit of time. I was like, I think we're dating now. I think we're dating. I mean, you scissor a man in public in front of everyone, for that long. I'm like, you got to be dating. So I came in like I was going to root for the Bullet Club Gold, but you scissor with somebody, there's a bond there. There's a bond when you scissor with someone. So I was like, yeah, let's go Acclaim. And then, but that was really cool. I got tagged in a couple tweets. People messaged me like, yeah, we just saw you. And I'm like, yeah, that was me.
We popped. I will tell you right now, my family and we popped when we saw it.
Yeah, I geeked out a little bit because it was literally it could have been any of us, and he picked me in the middle, and I was like, cool, this is awesome, and I'll scissor, man. Let's scissor, brother.
Yeah. But getting into the match itself, I thought this one was solid enough. I thought the way of having Billy Gunn getting the chance to go up against Austin and Colton, I thought was great, especially whenever they tried to take a shot at him and he just looked at him like a dad who was ready to just you're grounded, and by grounded meaning I'm gonna throw you into the ground. That I thought was great. Acclaim got some good stuff in there as well. Jay White still kills it every single time. But what ends up happening was that he hits a famouser on Jay White, tries to go for a second one, and he gets countered. And then Jay White hits the Blade Runner on Billy Gunn, and he gets the pin on Billy. So they are now the Unified World Trio Champions. The Bang Bang Gang pick up all the titles tonight. Match itself was fine enough, but a big moment for the Bang Bang Gang, moment for Bullet Club Gold to get the win tonight. I thought that was huge.
The right team absolutely won. I'm sorry to Bowens. I think this was addition and subtraction at the same time. This feud had gotten a little long in the tooth, so I am glad that it came to a resolution. The Bullet Club Gold, I think, or Bang Bang Gang was the right team to win, right? because now it puts the Acclaimed back in the tag team division. And and you know how I've been about, kind of rebuilding the tag team division. So now that's a former tag team champions back in the tag team division. Bullet Club Gold as bad guy trio team, that they're perfect. They could work AEW and ROH. I think that it works well, so that works too. Gun Club, man, AEW tag team champions and trios champions, man. They are on they're on another level. Switchblade got his win on Billy Gunn after being beat mercilessly in a singles match, so that was cool. And now the Acclaim can go on to better things. Hopefully Billy Gunn can just be a producer or whatever his role is backstage, because old people, once you get to like your 60s, you probably shouldn't fall for a living. So
yeah,
take
we've
care
appreciated Daddy Ass, but I think there's no more that he needs to give.
Yeah, so you can focus on, the Acclaimed, the tag team, the Acclaimed. I mean, the Acclaimed is a homegrown AEW tag team, probably the most successful and longest lasting homegrown AEW tag team, because they haven't broken up. Everybody else has. So, having them back in the tag team division, getting some wins, helped the tag division. And I thought the match was legitimately good. I wouldn't go great, but I thought it was legitimately like really good, and the crowd really got into it. There was a lot of stuff when the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass did their finishing sequence. I literally thought they were going to win. They got a legitimate false finish out of me, because I didn't see the other guy that was coming in was on the side of the ring that I didn't see. So they legitimately got a false finish from me. So really excited. And the reactions, if you were listening to the reaction toward the end of the match, everybody was completely into it. That was the perfect match to set up for a pay-per-view, which I thought the crowd was literally hot like 90% of the pay-per-view.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, that was the 0 hour portion. So let's get to the main card, which opened with the AEW Continental Championship match between the Bastard Pack and the Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada. What a fucking way to start the main show. I mean, these guys on fire. Like, Pac and Okada were trading great shots. Amazing drop kick as usual from Okada. That's just picture perfect stuff. The DDT that Okada hit while he was hanging him off of the barricade and spiking him onto the floor, that shit looked vicious. Pac was able to really do some good work, especially when he locked in the brutalizer. I thought was awesome the way he got it in. And I thought him being able to get the tombstone, him being able to transition into the brutalizer out of getting hit by the tombstone was awesome. And Pac was also able to tombstone Okada at one point. However, there was a moment where Okada goes to do his famous pose, and everyone in the crowd was getting ready to do it. The cameraman was ready to do the zoom out, and and right then and there, everyone hated him. Yep. Everyone could not stand
middle finger,
because he came in like he always does when he comes into the States. Oh yeah, he came in the same way that he does when he comes into the States, because not a lot of people get to see Okada wrestle in person, so people went crazy when they saw him. However, the moment he flipped them off and didn't give them what they wanted, they wanted him to lose so bad. Like, it was awesome. And it's nice to see a member of the Elite get legit heat without using a guy who doesn't work here anymore. My thoughts to be saved for later, though. And the match itself finishes off with Okada Pac went for the Black Arrow, and then Okada gets his knees up, and Pac's jaw, I swear to God, I thought he got knocked out. He landed directly headfirst onto his knee, then got leveled with the Rainmaker and got pinned. Hell of a finish. I genuinely was concerned for Pac, because I thought he might have knocked a tooth out with the way he landed on his knee. But hell of a title defense for Okada. Amazing match to start things off. Right there, I'm like, all right, this now, let's go. This card's looking like it's gonna kill.
Shout out to Okada and to the St. Louis fan base when they came out. Both of these people were amazingly over. The Okada chances, I'm like, dude, are they going to be able to make him heel? And I forgot we were dealing with Kazuchika Okada, one of the best professional wrestlers in the world, a master of manipulation. I mean, he started doing the hand thing, and the crowd was getting louder, and he's like, come on! He got the crowd pumped up. Boom. You're like, that was the excellence of it. He got the crowd to a fever pitch. All they wanted this man to do was to stick his arms out and look up with the camera pose. That's all they wanted. Boom, middle finger, fuck all of y'all. And fuck Okada. I just like, that was legitimately great. Legitimately great. That is like what you call heel work. It wasn't like you can say the city stupid, you can flip people off, but how he did it, he just pulled us all in, got our hearts up, everybody standing up. I stood up. I had my hand out because I was about to do the pose at the same time as him. Oh, soul crushing. Perfect moment. Timing in wrestling is everything, and Kazuchika Okada had it on this moment. I made this joke to JR. I was like, AEW is so deep. Kazuchika Okada is a curtain jerker.
Wild. It's wild to think about that.
Yeah, it's like Kazuchika Okada and Pac are a main event in most cities, in most companies around the world. That is a main event match. That is a match that would, put a few thousand people, in Tokyo. And here we go. He's the first match on the card, and it lived up to it. They had amazing chemistry. If they want to eventually run this back, it would be even better. Pac is, God, I know he's good. Honestly, I know he's great. But sometimes, like when someone goes away, he had been away for a while, right? And I'd seen him in the trios match. But sometimes it takes a match like this to let you know that pound for pound, Pac might be one of the best professional wrestlers in the world. Because honestly, that's his knock. The knock is the one thing he can't control is how tall he is, right? That's literally the knock. Like, if Pac is 6'2", he's Will Ospreay. He's the biggest wrestler in the world. The only knock on that man is he's not tall. But when it comes to end of wrestling, like strikes, flying moves, facial expressions, selling, he is as good as anybody in the world at all of that. And the best example is what you said. He went up there and he could have done like a shooting star press or whatever or something. He does his full-on Black Arrow finisher, which is a very difficult move to pull off, to land his face right on Kazuchika Okada's knee. And like I said, I don't know if he's hurt or not hurt, but it looked gruesome. And then Rainmaker, 1, 2, 3, because Kazuchika Okada is the best wrestler in the world, one of the best wrestlers in the world. Whether with help or not with help, he doesn't have to cheat to win. So it was a great, clean victory. I got an Okada buck. That was good. Shout out Cheesecake. Made sure I got an Okada buck. But yeah, not enough words to say. Not enough words to say about how great this matchup was. And based on your opinion, it was the third or fourth best match on the card.
It's wild to say. And again, I love the response that Pac got after the match, too, from the crowd. I thought that was spectacular.
He's our bastard.
Yep.
Dude, again, I've been in crowds literally twice the size of this crowd. Like, literally. Like this is not like, oh, kind of. No, I know I've been in crowds twice the size that didn't sound as loud as this crowd did.
They wanted to become the new Chicago, is what they wanted to be. Like, they wanted to be the new, like, you want to go watch a great crowd that does amazing chants, go to St. Louis. Like, yes. They wanted to be that new place.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Moving on, the trios match between the TNT champion, Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, the New Japan Strong Openweight champion, our world champion, Mark Briscoe, versus the House of Black. best part about this, honestly, that I thought was such a great through line was the fact and Malachi Black staring off at each other. Malachi got out of the ring, immediately tagging in Brody King afterwards. And those two did not like have any interaction other than a couple stare downs. They did not, neither of them threw a shot at each other or made contact with each other the entire match until the finish. Every time you thought, here we go, here's where these guys are going to go at it, it never happens. But then all of a sudden, Copeland sets him up for the spear and gets mist in his eye and gets black masked. Match itself, though, I mean, Eddie Kingston, dude, fucking hell. The man turned into fucking Terry Funk incarnate and was just like beating up Brody King on the top rope, and then was fucking so fired up that he fell to the ground and needed like Mark to kind of like steady him up as he's like spinning and just like he has no control of his body. He's so fired up that he's in no control of himself and just completely is just like all over the goddamn place. Hysterical. And every single member of the House of Black got to shine. The only thing I thought there was honestly going to be a mention, like a little Judgment Day nod with Copeland and Buddy Matthews. That was the only thing I thought there might have been a mention to. I don't know how they would have done it, but I would have thought that specifically would have been brought attention to. But I don't know. It's just one thing I had. Other than that, though, it was a physical match. Really good stuff. Mark Briscoe got to shine with his amazing kung fu that he showcases. And Copeland is just such a great, like, he's that legendary, like, veteran wrestler that's leading the charge in terms of being a positive force for the young guys and just like really working with everybody. He wants to work with everybody and anybody. And it's him being the TNT champion is exactly what that belt needs, I think. And I think, you know, it was a really good match. It was a really, really good match.
It was a really good match. And the whole idea to build up to that ending with Malachi and Adam or Copeland, Big Cope, was amazing. I thought it was great. Dude, every time I see Brody King, I mean, we're going to get to the that finish. I want to see more Brody King. I just like, how's he not a champion? How's he not like a contender? Because he is the most physically imposing person. Like, I've met the Big Show. You know, I've met Braun Strowman, right? And Braun Strowman, I believe, is taller than him. But no one has the physical scariness of Brody King. He looks fucking scary. Like, his look is there. And then when he wrestles, he has, for someone that large to have such control over their body, right? Like, he does stuff like you would swear he's gonna hurt someone because he's so big and he has such amazing control over his body. And then the crowd's like, I'm like, dude, one day, for maybe 3 months or 6 months, they're going to push this dude as a face, and he's going to be like the most over guy on the planet because he's already like the one member of the team that the fans like. It's like, oh, boo, Malachi. Oh, boo, Buddy. Brody gets out there. It's like, boo, yay, boo, yay, boo, yay. You know, they like, it is a very conflicted chant when Brody's out there, and I love it. Eddie Kingston does what Eddie Kingston fucking does. Mark Briscoe, always a solid performer, but that build to that moment, and then Malachi, boom, spray to the face, boom, black mask, night, 1, 2, 3. I cannot wait for this TNT bottle. I hope it's a big match. I mean, they could hold it off the Double or Nothing because these dudes are just that good and they could build it to then. But man, this would make a great main event for a Collision or a Dynamite.
Like I said, I love how they teased it the entire time, and then only until the very, very end is when they actively, you know, gave you that one interaction. And you still want to see that last match. They still want to see them like really get the chance to go at it.
Like it's literally like when you talk about it, like masters of their craft. You know what I mean? This is Adam Copeland, 30 years in the business. This is Malachi, who thinks about literally everything. If you've ever heard Malachi, like on a Twitch, explain what he thinks about wrestling, that dude puts thought into everything.
So much thought.
Nothing is on accident. It is like, and I do this, like the tattoos he has, what color gear he's wearing tonight. There is thought into everything that man does. So building up this match with Copeland, it's going to be great because nothing is not going to be intentional. If he trips in the middle where it's pretty sure he's going to use that in the match. And it's like, I know there's a lot of people that, based on backstage stuff or whatever, they, decided they don't like Malachi. Hey, that's not my business. I don't work backstage. When that man's out on the screen with his group, he's always entertaining. So let's fucking go when it comes to Malachi and Copeland.
For sure. We move on now to the TBS Championship match between Julia Hart and Willow Nightingale. This match was okay. I think there was a very strong enough chance that Julia was still battling her injury and was being protected through a lot of the match, I felt like, because I think they would have given them a little bit more time if she was able to fully go. I thought it was fine for the most part. It didn't get a ton of time. It honestly felt more so like a Dynamite match because I felt like right as we were starting to get to like, okay, now we're about to set up the climax where these girls really get to the high spots. By that point, Willow had already hit the Dr. Bomb and got the win. And I was like, okay, well, there we go. She won. Super happy for Willow. She so deserves it. Julia holding the TBS championship. She was a force holding it, and I think she's only going to get better too. And I can imagine that she'll be back here in some time. But big for Willow, and now they set it up. Mercedes Moné comes out. They stare each other down, and that's the match for Double or Nothing. CEO Mercedes Moné in her first match in AEW, taking on Willow Nightingale for the TBS Championship. These two girls are going to go at it again, and I think it's going to be huge for Double or Nothing. So upset that I won't be in there to see that match live, but you know what? Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for it nonetheless. But regardless, this match was okay. I think Julia, with her injury or with like the injuries that she's had in the past, had kept it from basically being able to have her keep going, which sucks. But I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just okay.
Dude, this match was exactly what it needed to be. So as what you're doing, what I see, this is how I saw it. Maybe you can see it differently than me. Is you're trying to build Willow up for Mercedes Moné for a significant match at Double or Nothing. That's what you're trying to do. And most people think that Mercedes is just going to come in and beat Willow. I mean, honestly, they've put a lot of money. Mercedes was the big-time free agent. That's how they see it. You have to build Willow up to match Mercedes' level as a force.
Oh, yeah.
So she had a dominant victory over the champ. She didn't just win the TBS title. She basically squashed Julia. Now, did Julia's injury have something to do with it? A previous injury, maybe why it was short? Maybe. But for what they're trying to do, what they're trying to build Willow up to, it actually worked a lot that she won definitively. That she just went through her, like just ran through her, because it leveled her up a spot. Not because of that she won. It was like how she won. Willow was never in doubt. So when you're building up the match, you can play on the fact that she is a dominant champion. She already has the size advantage on Mercedes Moné. So I thought that was amazing. I thought like how it was done. I thought this match was 100% what it needed to be, even though it wasn't, on a night of epic matches, it was not an epic match, right? Then in the moment, because Mercedes Moné is trying to get even with Willow. Willow finally gets her AEW title win and celebrate. And who comes and steals her shine? CEO. Oh,
CEO.
yeah. See, and it was so intentionally done. It was like, before I let you get your flowers, before I let the chant start saying, Willow, you deserve it, our music is going to hit, and I'm going to take that away from you, just like you took away my belt from me. And just like you took away a year of my career from me.
Dude,
love
the match,
it.
I can't wait for it. I think there's going to be so much juice to this feud.
Yes, and anyone that doesn't know that Mercedes is going heel sooner than later.
Oh my God.
This chick is a heel. There is nothing face about her other than people chanting her name.
Legit.
She comes in, steps on this person moment, and there's a price to pay when you mess with Monet. That just sounds like heel. Nothing about her seems like she's face right now. This seems like.
Let's be frank too. Like Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks has always been such a better heel. Always. One
of the best female heels ever. You know, she screams boo me, and she has a very passionate, rampant fan base that won't boo her for anything, and I will never mess with you. If you take anything I'll say is other than loving affection for Mercedes Moné, I am sorry. I did not mean it. That is a group of fandom that I'm pretty silly. I like to piss people off at times. I ain't messing with them.
No, you don't want that.
They will get my wife fired from her job. We don't even have the same last name. They'll figure it out. No, I'm good. She's the greatest ever. Okay. No. I just thought it was a really cool moment. I thought this segment in a show full of epic matches, you need a couple matches like this. And I thought this match, it was perfect for what it needed to be.
Fair enough. Yeah. I would have liked a little bit more time with it, but I can agree that it does make, Willow look strong and give her legit, just momentum for the biggest match of her career for sure. We then got to the International Championship match between Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. Technical, great wrestling between both guys. Kyle O'Reilly was so great in this match, and Roderick Strong especially. You saw him setting up for the entire match. He was ready for setting up for the end of Heartache. That back of Kyle O'Reilly's got destroyed. Multiple backbreakers, multiple vicious shots to the spine. He was going at it the entire match. O'Reilly, meanwhile, was trying to really work on the knee, it seemed like, for a majority of it. And just some great moves at the moment of them getting up, and they're both holding wrist control as they start trading shots. Was really well done. Wardlow at one point comes down. First of all, very much glad that man is okay after his car accident. Wardlow, if you didn't see on social media, he did post he was in a car accident. He's thankfully okay. Very scary stuff. As Swerve Strickland, not Swerve Strickland, but as Prince Nana told me, when my friend bought me a Cameo when I got into a car accident, I was swerving when I was driving, and I did not swerve responsibly. So I truly hope that Wardlow is all right after that. It's good to see him there, at least being able to move around and all that kind of stuff. But he comes out, and you're looking for the moment where he's going to get involved in the match. And he actually doesn't. He doesn't get involved, and eventually Kyle hits a brainbuster, but it looks like he's able to try to set something up there. But eventually the end of Heartaches is finally hit, and all that damage done to that back is too much for O'Reilly to kick out of, and Roderick Strong retains the title. Huge moment. We'll talk about the match first before we talk about the big moment that happened after the match. Floyd, these guys, they really did a clinic in terms of just really good technical wrestling.
I got to tell you, I like Roderick Strong. I've liked him since he was in NXT. I will watch Roderick Strong any day. I feel the exact opposite way about Kyle O'Reilly.
Really?
It bores me to tears. Tears.
See, Kyle O'Reilly was always second to me when it came to the Undisputed Era for me. Because I thought Kyle O'Reilly especially had some spectacular moments. And maybe it was just more so too, when he was in NXT, I guess he got to do a little bit more funny stuff. I loved when I was at NXT Brooklyn 3 and he got he took a shot from one of the members of AOP. I can never tell which one, but he took a shot from AOP, and he's like trying to fire himself up, and he goes limp and falls out of the ring. Like, he's got some like really, really good like body like comedy that he does.
He is an elite to amazing tag team wrestler. I hate him as a singles wrestler.
Okay.
I say this to say this match outperformed all of my expectations.
There we go.
It told a really good story. Kyle O'Reilly is an amazing seller. I was doing the thing. I wish I had like a ticker thing. I was doing the thing where I was counting the backbreakers because me and Dave he set the number at 4.5. I was like, it's going to be way over 4.5. I think he got to 8, and we did count the turnbuckle drop
counts.
As a backbreaker. So he got to 8, which was good. The Messiah of the backbreaker, and I have loved this whole. That's what he does. He just wears you down. It's not about the first backbreaker. It's not about the second backbreaker. It's about the 8th backbreaker. That's the one, the end of heartache. That's when he feels you. When he hears you breathing hard. He hears that you can't catch your breath. You can't move right. Because I can honestly say, I have to say probably the hardest part to sell in wrestling is the back. I know you're young, Austin, probably haven't had too many back problems, right?
Nope, I'm pretty solid.
I once was helping someone move, and this is the reason I don't help people move anymore. I was helping someone move, and I pinched a nerve in my back. Oof. And when I tell you, it hurts to do anything. Like when you're selling a leg, you limp. You're like, oh, okay, I got to sell the left leg. You sell the arm, you grab your arm. We saw that later in the night. You grab the arm, and you don't do things with your arm. But if you're selling your back correctly, the only thing to do is just lay on the ground, because that's the only thing I wanted to do when I pinched my nerves. It's just like, I want to lay in this spot and stay just like this, because this is the spot that it doesn't hurt. And if I go a little left, it hurts. If I go a little right, it hurts. I say that to say Kyle O'Reilly did an excellent job, especially in the second half of this match, of selling the back. It looked like he was in excruciating pain. And when he finally hit the move in just one, you completely understood.
Absolutely.
It wasn't like I said, it wasn't the first backbreaker. It was the build. And even with Wardlow, you're like people like he didn't interfere, but it looked like Kyle O'Reilly was in this point where he was about to take over, and Wardlow jumped in right at that point, and that momentum switched back to Roddy Strong, and he was able to finish it. I thought this match was really good. And outperformed my expectations. Again, there are some wrestlers out there. There are some wrestlers, I will always say. Is Kyle O'Reilly a good wrestler? Or is Kyle O'Reilly a great wrestler? Yes. But I can say that. But he's not my cup of tea as far as how he wrestles. He did this one, the rope mounts thing that he does. I thought that was really cool. I'm like, I will give the man his flowers when he entertains me. This is not liking him is not a gimmick. It's just how I truly feel. So when he does have a match I like, I really want to go overboard telling somebody how much I like it, because I'm not trying to live a gimmick. I'm not going to say everything he does sucks, because it's not about that. It's just most of the time he doesn't really hit with me, but Sunday he hit with me. It was really good.
Yeah, no, he did really good in this match. And then afterwards, we saw the Undisputed Kingdom come down to the ring. Adam Cole, however, he did not need the wheelchair anymore. He was able to walk to the ring, which the crowd was so gassed when that happened. And I was so happy for that case. I was so happy to see Adam Cole walking. And, dude, I was just like, here we go. Now, the Undisputed Kingdom, now we have a legitimate chance to make this faction like huge, because now the leader, the devil himself, is able to finally do things and not just be confined to that wheelchair. And there was even one moment where they were celebrating in the ring, but Adam Cole was just staring down the back of Wardlow. And then right as he turns, he immediately looks away, goes back to celebrating. Nice little thing there. I just hope now, like, Adam Cole can become a mega threat now, and like we can see that now, the way that the Undisputed Kingdom can move, that he's fully healthy. Well, I don't know if he's fully healthy. I don't know that for sure, but at least not wheelchair bound.
Yeah, and everybody's like he was once away from coming back. I will tell you this. Hey, when you hear that stuff, take everything you hear about AEW injuries and stuff with a grain of salt.
Yes.
Until it's like official. Until you hear it from Adam Cole on like a video chat or they make a post. AEW is like the best company in the world of keeping you in the dark. So, like...
And we'll talk about that later in the show.
So, like, when Wrestle Headlines comes out that Adam Cole's ankle is still... Hey, grain of salt. I'm trying to help you. I'm not saying don't get worked, because I love getting worked, but I'm just saying don't get worked by people that aren't working. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah.
No, so I just thought it was cool. He looked good. I'm glad he didn't jump around. I am at this point where he seems, and this is Floyd, this is novice, not a health expert at all. I want that to be known because I'm just speaking as me, not as some sort of expert. It seems like it would be healthy for him to add some weight for his body to take the beating that he does. You know what? I've just heard that when it comes to wrestlers, that extra weight kind of helps you become durable. You know what I mean? And he's like the freakish way that he hurt his ankle, the concussion injuries, it feels like, you know what? Add a little mass. I know it's not that easy. I don't know what his allergies are, what his diet's like, what he can eat, what he can't eat. It's not as easy as I'm saying, but I would like to see him add a little mass, not because it makes his presentation for him. Hopefully it just makes him healthier and that he could stay healthy. That's what I'm talking about.
We want him to stay healthy for certain.
Yes, because I want to see, he entertains me. I could honestly say Adam Cole, if not in my top 10, probably in my top 5 of favorite performers. I don't know many matches where I did not like Adam Cole in. So it's just like, I want to see him working, staying healthy and working.
Yeah, no, 100%. We'll move on now to next match, which was the FTW Championship match between Hook and Lionheart Chris Jericho. Now, Floyd, do you want to comment on the way St. Louis felt about Chris Jericho?
Chris Jericho, as a person that always will be a diehard Cody Rhodes fan, it's happened. It has happened to Jericho.
Yep, he has suffered the Cody effect in AEW.
Yes, it is now cool to boo him. That simple. This match was good. I mean, I wouldn't say great, but it was legitimately good.
No, it was fun. It was good.
They put on a good match. They told a good story. And people were shitting on him for absolutely really no reason other than they're quote-unquote tired of him. He told a good story. The story was he had something to teach Hook, and he pulled out every dirty trick in the book to beat Hook. And with his dad out there, I thought the match was so good. It was so much better than it had any reason to be. Like, it was so much better. And it was just like, people wanted to boo. It had nothing to do with the performance. It had everything to do with who the person is. And it was like, my personal thing, I didn't join in on any of those chants. I've even said Jericho needs to take a break on this show.
We've both said that.
Yes, but it wasn't because of this match. He was fine in this match. It was because his storylines were kind of boring, and it was like you could, go away and they could bring you back in a hot storyline. You could.
Well, and also too, like he had managed to reinvent himself multiple times without taking like a truly major break. Problem is, it seemed like he hadn't been able to like do the reinvention of Jericho that he has done so many times over, and a break helps to do that.
And I just don't think most people care about the Lionheart gimmick. I mean,
no, it's just nostalgia for the sake of
nostalgia. Even then, he had to drop Lionheart and go to Y2J to, really take that next level. So it's just like, I don't think people have this like love and nostalgia for the Lionheart character that he may think they do. So I think that's a lot of what your reaction. It's just like, like the character you're playing, you've gotten rid of the music, which was smart, because if he truly wants to be a bad guy, you can't have people singing your song on the way
Exactly.
out. So I thought some things were smart, but I thought the reaction to this match was stupid compared to the actual performance. And like I said, there was a guy in a section. He got one chant, and he's like, well, let's see if I can get this other one. Let's see if I can get this other one. And then you start dueling, and people like, what else can I say that's really, really harsh? And it's just like, no one wants actual Jericho to retire. Well, I can't say no one. That's speaking for a lot of people. But I don't think any rational people want Jericho to actually retire. They just like, hey, man, dude, a month. It like, people say 6 months. Dude, people miss you after a month. Give them just a second to miss you. But I thought this match was done well. I thought Hook's selling of the beating was well. I thought the baseball bat to the head looked fucking vicious.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And this was like the first like plunder match of it, and I thought it was well done. And to steal a line from Rich Latta, which I often steal when to Jericho, never count out Chris Jericho. Never count him out. He always delivers. This match, if you look at the position on the card, what it was for, absolutely delivered for what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, and I will say, too, the 2 consecutive Judas effects that Hook kicked out of, I popped for that. When he kicked out of the second one, I genuinely popped, because I was like, oh, wow. Like, he's giving him both of them, like, and he's still kicking out. Because I know the whole idea is that, if you're a young guy and you work with Chris Jericho, oh, buddy, which, funny enough, that was the same critique that so many AEW fans brought onto Cody Rhodes. If you're a young guy, or if you're a up-and-comer, watch out for the golden shovel of Cody Rhodes. Watch out. It's literally the same thing.
Yep,
but now it's Chris Jericho.
He's the Cody right now, and it sucks because I know what it is. And there's it's not a lot you can do with it. And now Chris Jericho's going to have to do exactly what Cody did. And you saw it at the end of the match. He's like, people were booing him, and he was waving to him saying thank you. Like, he thought they were cheering him. And, hey, he's going to play into it, and it's going to be,
dude.
It's
and
going to
again,
be great.
At least the very good thing about Jericho in regards to this is that he's actually playing a heel character.
Correct.
Like, Cody was genuinely just being Cody, and people didn't like it for a while. This is a different instance where Jericho can actually use this, and I think it can help him out, because I don't think there was anybody else who got a bigger heel reaction that night than Chris Jericho. Genuine. I don't know. I can't think of anyone else.
There was one guy. We'll talk about him later. You'll talk about him later.
Was it a heel reaction? Because from my ears, sure as fuck wasn't a heel reaction.
Oh, okay. Well, he had a big time reaction when he came out.
Yeah, the sheeple love their scapegoat. Anyways, moving on with the AEW Women's World Championship, Timeless Toni Storm versus Thunder. First of all, just the instances of them using their makeup, the way that Tony's makeup was done, and then the way that Thunder Rosa comes out with the mask and removes it, and her makeup is just minimal. Obviously, you're in the lead up to this match. You had Toni Storm fuck with the face paint of Thunder Rosa, and then Timeless Toni Storm got lipstick shoved all over her face the week prior by Thunder Rosa, which led to an outstanding promo from Toni Storm backstage. They immediately came out of the gates just slamming each other with shots. And honestly, dude, I really, really like this. Seeing Toni Storm and seeing Thunder Rosa, I should say, in this spot again just made me happy, because I've missed Thunder Rosa in the title picture. She's so good, and I just love her work. And Timeless Toni Storm is just spectacular, absolutely spectacular. I love the way that she worked this match. got some really good shots in there. The Death Valley driver onto the apron from Thunder Rosa to Storm was pretty damn vicious. I loved the way Toni Storm was just like trying to escape out of it for a little while, and her selling I thought was great. Huge moment before the match closed out was when after they were trading German suplexes, Mariah May proceeds to get on the apron, and Deonna Purrazzo then proceeds to fight with her outside the ring. Then, as the match continues, Thunder Rosa gets out of the way, and she hits the Cobra. She puts on the Cobra clutch, but then Toni Storm gets the ring apron, and then as the ring skirt was getting adjusted, Toni Storm hits a low blow, hits Storm Zero, gets the pin, and then gets the victory. And there you go. Toni Storm retains the AEW Women's World Championship. And I thought this was honestly like really, really good. These women did a very good job. I thought Deonna Purrazzo and Mariah May also got some good time to shine on the outside. And I thought there's a good chance that you can continue this, honestly, if you wanted to. Thunder Rosa has plenty of reasons of wanting a rematch. And Toni Storm is just this force. I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, this is really, really good stuff.
All right. To steal a line, to paraphrase a line from Will Smith from Bad Boys, that's how you wrestle. From now on, that is how you wrestle. Okay? I swore Jon Moxley produced this match. I swore. Because they came out throwing bombs.
Dude, they were beating the hell out of each other.
It looked like a Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston match. They were beating the hell out of each other. This match was so fucking physical. And it was just like, it threw me aback because I wasn't prepared for this. It wasn't a wrestling match at first. It was a fucking fight. And they kept up that energy all the way through. This was probably one of my favorite women's matches I've seen this year. This is the Toni Storm. This is the Thunder Rosa. This is the matches that the women's division has to bring. I mean, I imagine people have seen better women's matches, whatever. Have your opinion. But when I came away from this match, I was like, you got to keep doing it like this. Because this felt like a wrestling match. Now, the low blow finish in a women's match, I was very confused. Very confused. Hey. You know what? I don't got those parts, so I can't really speak on it, whether it hurts or not, or, whatever. But it worked. And I thought the finish worked, and I thought it sets up perfectly for if they want to do Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm again on Dynamite or Collision, they can. I really, really enjoyed this match. Like I said, I mean, I know every match can't be the same, but I was like, man, every woman's match, keep this fucking energy, okay?
Yes, this is what we were hoping for. Women's wrestling should be.
Yeah, because this felt like just a really good wrestling match. It wasn't a really good women's match. It was a really good wrestling match, and that's what we want.
Yeah, no, I'm so happy that we get this level of time and physicality and just energy to women's pay-per-view matches. I thought it was great. Like this is now what I feel like this is now a big level as to what we expect for big time championship women's matches and how the women should be treated. I mean, this was really, really fucking good shit.
Yeah, physical, hard hitting, high energy. Shit. I feel sorry for you if you went to the bathroom during this match. I feel sorry for you.
1,000%.
Yeah, because you missed a good match.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, we move on to Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, versus the Aerial Assassin, Will Ospreay. I'm going to say one thing before I talk about the actual match. The only nitpick I have. Don't announce it as a dream match. If it's a dream match, let it be a dream match. That's my only critique. Other than that, this is the best match of the year.
I had the exact same problem with you until the match.
I get it. No, him setting it up like that, it makes sense with the match complete. I still don't agree with it, but it makes sense considering the match is what it is.
But
Fucking A.
I had a slight problem with the ending. Like it's a nitpick that I'll talk about ever. But let me tell you, like, I'm at this point, before I talk about any moves or any sequences in a match, I am going to start with this. I will never say this is the best match I ever saw. I will never say, until he retires, I will never say again. And I don't speak in absolutes. This is not something I do very often. I rarely speak in absolutes. But I will never say a Will Ospreay match is the best match I ever saw again. Why? Because then he has the next match. Like, when I start doing my match of the year rankings, there's going to be a Will Ospreay section, and then there's going to be an everybody else section. Because I can't hold anyone else up to this standard. When I talk about the best matches I've ever seen live, there's going to be a Will Ospreay section, then there's going to be an everybody else section. Because guess what? He's had 2 pay-per-view matches, and they're probably in my top 5 matches I've ever seen live. Like, people were like, man, this match was amazing. I was like, did you not see Takeshita? Because to me, that match was just as good.
In his match with Kenny Omega. Just like at Forbidden Door.
Dude. That's how exceptional this man is. Like, some people I attach to emotionally, like FTR, and I really like how they perform. Cody Rhodes, I really like how they perform and what energy they put in, and they become my favorite wrestler. I choose them, right? Will Ospreay has chosen me. I have no choice but to say he's my favorite wrestler. Like, I love Swerve. Swerve, energy, carry the company. I love him. I love Darby Allin. Love him. And I've been looking for that guy since Cody to be my guy in AEW. You know it. I've went and I was like, oh, I'm looking under groups. Will Ospreay came and slapped me in the face and said, it's fucking me. That's how good this man is. If I'm doing the top 5 matches I've seen this year, they all have Will Ospreay in it. All of them.
It's just, I don't even know, man.
Dude, we're seeing wrestling Michael Jordan right now. We're Patrick Mahomes. Whoever your elite of your sport is, Wayne Gretzky, whoever your elite of your sport is, we are seeing it right now in Will Ospreay.
I can't, like, just some of the moments on its own, dude, that we'll talk about right now. I mean, the way these guys charged at each other when they were in the corner, and then just like when Brian Danielson, Brian Danielson dodged the hidden blade, and then that's like just got out of the way, and then hit the Busaiku knee by coming on the opposite end. Like when they're just kind of just going through corner to corner, and then just the collision when these guys make contact is just insane. Like they're going full speed ahead. It got a "We're not worthy" chant out of the crowd. I've never heard a crowd pull out a line that I only heard in fucking Wayne's World. I was not expecting that.
I heard this match went 30-something minutes. It felt like 15.
Yeah, 30. I think it was like 35, I think.
Dude, we every time you sat down, you were up within 30 seconds. Every time you thought they couldn't top the last thing they did, they topped it. Dude, off the rope, he was going for the springboard, and then he hits the knee. Perfectly timed. It's basically, I think it was Adam Cole and Ricochet is when it happened. And everybody thought that was, I just saw it in a match. Like, and it looked so much more like devastating. And I thought that was the finish. I really thought it was the finish. And then Will Ospreay kicks out. And then, there's so many spots.
Dude, I know. I know.
I mean, I swear, me and Sam could do an hour show talking about a 30-minute match.
Honestly, dude.
Like,
honestly.
Me and Sam could do an hour show talking about a 30-minute match. I was emotionally exhausted after this. I gotta say before the match, because I meant to say it before this started. So we were down to 3 matches, right? This match, the world title match, and the tag match. And I was like, okay, the tag match is coming. And then the Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson video match started. I said, fuck you, Tony Khan. I was like, so my boys got to follow this shit? And they hadn't even touched. They hadn't even got to the ring. And I was already pissed off because I was like, my boys got to follow this shit. They are going to have to follow this match. Because guess what? I had my standard at 5 stars. I was literally messaging 7 right after the match.
Yeah.
And 7's the highest a match has ever gotten. And I was like,
I think this could get 8.
yes.
I think this could get 8.
So I just wanted to throw that out there because I was initially pissed. But then the match happened. And I was like, I can say I was there for this.
I know.
Dude, I don't have kids and we didn't plan on kids. I want to have kids so I can tell them about this match.
Dude, I mean, it was so spectacular. And then the final moments, dude, the crowd was just like unreal levels of electric. And then the final moments, like I said, where Danielson and Will Ospreay are just staring each other in the corner. The yes chants facing off against Will Ospreay. And then Ospreay, vicious hidden blade. And then he sets up, and finally, he'd been teasing it the entire match. He hits the Tiger Driver. And Danielson's just like, he's selling like you expect him to sell. Like when he does this bullshit, he is fucking like, the dude's act like basically seizing. He's seizing. The ref comes in and is checking on him, and he's clutching his neck and his shoulder. The physician comes in, but Ospreay, as Danielson's back is turned, he's being checked on, flies in with another hidden blade, gets the pinfall. And then immediately, again, referee gets physician in. They're going against it. And Ospreay's celebrating, but then eventually he realizes to the level of damage that has been done on Danielson, and he's concerned. So he comes back, and they check in on him. There was a backstage video they showed of him being worked on, and Ospreay's concerned. And then in the media scrum afterwards, actually, he said he will no longer be doing the Tiger Driver. He is not going to do the move anymore. He's like, it's too dangerous. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm calling it there.
The doctor yelling at Will Ospreay, you did this to him. You did this. They got the fucking doctor in on the match, man.
I know.
Oh
like
my God.
When I was watching him set up for it, I was scared. And then when I saw the move get hit, I was like, oh, he hit it perfectly. Like it was like shoulders, the way it looked. It looks vicious, but it's not like you think he's gonna die. Because when he did it to Kenny, everyone was like, "Oh my God, you killed him! Like you've actually killed Kenny Omega when you did that at Forbidden Door." This one, I was like, "Oh man, he hit it picture perfect. There we go." And then I saw him doing the selling, and I'm just like, "Oh God, here we go."
Dude, so well done. The only problem I had is just like I had this thought, and this is called Floyd overthinking. I will take it on the chin when I say this. Floyd overthinking. I just remembered the Sammy Guevara match, and I remembered the Sammy Guevara match, and I remember he hits the move Jeff.
He hits the moonsault on Jeff and hits him knee to the head. To the eye.
And the referee and the doctor are like, stop. Then he goes and hits another move, and apparently, I don't know, I don't work backstage, that's why he got suspended. Okay, on face value, on what us as a fan knows, of people that are on Twitter knows, how is that any different than what Ospreay did? Just saying, I love that they used it in the storyline, but it's like, because, again, work me hard.
Yep.
Lose me in this. And in those minutes right after, I was like, is Bryan Danielson actually hurt? Because, man, the referee was selling it. He was selling it. Don Callis, the most heartless bastard in the world, had a look of concern on his face. Like, oh my God, what did you do?
Yeah.
Like, you went too far, sir. And it was everybody like in that square, everybody in that ring, everybody in the performance area, security, the ref, the doctors, everybody involved was selling that injury. And that's pro wrestling. When I tell people how much I love pro wrestling and I say it's a thing that stands on its own, what other thing can you do this on? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they just fucked with my emotions. Bryan Danielson, master. Like, I have been talking about Will Ospreay the whole time. And, Michael Jordan. But goddamn, Bryan Danielson, at least Kobe. He's at least Kobe. He's right there. He's right
Larry
there.
Bird.
Yeah, baby. He's Larry Bird. Yeah, he's right there. Again, his match with Hangman that I watched go to a time limit draw, I was saying at the time, one of the best. It's still the best draw I've ever seen. It's the best time limit draw I've ever seen. This match doesn't work if Bryan Danielson isn't as good as he is. These are elite. I use the term all the time because I heard MVP say it, and I just thought this was amazing when he said it. He's like, I'm a black belt in professional wrestling, right? We just saw 2 red belts go at it.
Yes.
And we saw the 7th degree Dan go at it. And they put on a masterpiece. No notes. Nothing better. Anybody says it was a spot fest, or anybody says they didn't like the match or it was okay, I understand. We should just not talk about wrestling because we like completely different things in our professional wrestling. I respect your opinion. You're allowed to think the way you want to think. There's just no reason for me to ever have a conversation with you again about professional wrestling.
I mean, that's just where we got to leave it at that.
I mean, like,
the match is insane.
I'm not going to fight you. I'm not.
I got no time. I'm just
going
to
to
rewatch the match again.
I'm going to take this time that I could be tweeting to you and watch the match again. Because it was a work of art. If wrestlers were up for awards, this should win an Academy Award.
You got to see a fucking movie. Oh, Tony Stark. I love Tony Stark. That line is stuck in my head at all times now.
Dude, this match was everything I loved about professional wrestling.
If you somehow have not watched it, fix that now.
And the story of the match, we talk about stories, and this is not in reference to Cody Rhodes, because I saw him finish the story, and there was a moment of pride for me. When we talk about stories in wrestling, AEW doesn't have stories. Dude, sometimes when wrestling's at its best, the story is who's better. And that's all the story of this match was. There was no heat feud. No one broke into someone's house. No one slapped anybody's mom. No one... Yeah. This was just who was better.
The one thing that I thought could have been awesome for a story moment, and they could still do it on Dynamite, and I'd be perfectly fine with it. But what I would love is, the Bullet Club, the Blackpool Combat Club has been built upon these guys. They get physical with each other. They beat the shit out of each other. But at the end of the day, they're brothers. They're teammates. They have respect for each other. Will Ospreay basically hurt Danielson to the point of people being scared for his health. And after everything that he's had with his health scares, if the entirety of the BCC came out ready to murder Will Ospreay and he runs off and he's just I'm sorry, I didn't mean this. But it's you've made enemies for life now. The entirety of the beast is dead. I would have loved that as just a little extra touch of oh God, now we got to see how Will Ospreay survives now that Claudio, Moxley, Yuta, the entire BCC are coming for his head. I think that would be just a really, because we've seen them beat the shit out of each other, but not be concerned about each other's well-being because they know each other can handle it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So when Mox is done with his New Japan run, and like I said, I don't know, but when he's done with his New Japan run, yeah, Moxley versus Will Ospreay has to fucking happen.
It's gotta happen.
And the reason it has to happen is because of this match. You tried to take out my guy. You tried to take out one of us. And if you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. So now you got to mess with John Moxley. And I know this term has been thrown around a lot, but the real final boss of AEW.
Of AEW, he's the guy that, like, when you want to reach that upper echelon of just pro wrestling, Will Ospreay. Like, it's just what he's at right now.
Yeah, Moxley.
And again, like I said, Danielson too. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Moxley is the gatekeeper of AEW. So, yeah, when it's time, it's gonna be amazing. Which, again, at this point, I'm running out of adjectives for Will Ospreay. Just don't have any more. It's just like you're gonna have to start calling a 5-star match an Ospreay at this point. Because if anybody had this match as less than 5, again, no reason for us to have a conversation about wrestling.
And again, as we know that we're coming closer and closer to the end of Danielson's time in AEW, dude, I'm cherishing every single moment of it because that dude is spectacular. I can't be more grateful than have Danielson in AEW than I am right now. Like, dude is a legend. And yeah, that's all I got to say on that.
Absolutely.
Finally, the penultimate match, the AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament final in a ladder match between FTR and the Young Bucks. Now, FTR, that's his guys. You know what I mean? This is Floyd's guys. And he was there in person for this as well and has had, I believe you said you've been now to every single title match between the Young Bucks and FTR now. Is that correct?
Except one. They had They had that one.
The one in the pandemic, I know.
Yes. No, the one in pandemic I went to.
Oh, you did good.
No, it was one in Philly, and they just announced it on like Monday that there was going to be a ROH tag team match between FTR and the Young Bucks.
I see. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I got 2 days. I can't. I just can't. I'm like,
but
you got
to 3 of the 4 though.
Yeah, it's 3 of the 4. Yeah.
So I'm going to pass things off to Floyd for the match. Because if you want my opinion on the match just outright, first off, I thought, like Floyd, oh, God, these guys are sentenced to die. Like, because they have to follow that. And the fact that the crowd was still, like, coming alive for the high spots of this match is a testament to how good everybody involved did. Like, they killed it. Super high intensity, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, to be able to bring a crowd back from the dead of watching probably the best match of the year and still get huge reactions out of them is a testament of itself. And I give all my props. That alone is a testament to how good the match is. I have other thoughts. I will save them for once Floyd gets to talk about this because these are his guys.
So my best friend in the FTR world is Miss Jackie Rodriguez. And I love me some Jackie. She's fucking awesome. Before they're coming, their music, their video package is playing, and it's 9:20 p.m. Central Time, and their music is playing. I said, FTR has to follow fucking Danielson and Ospreay. I believe in them, but fuck, that's a task. That's the exact message I sent to her. I have never worried about FTR in their performance. I have never worried about Young Bucks in their performance. When it comes to my favorite tag teams, it's 1 and 1A. Like, I love them both. They both put on matches. They both work a style that I fucking love. And I know people will get confused because they work so different. But they are so excellent at their styles that I love them. So I've never been worried about the Young Bucks. I've never been worried about FTR. That is a complete testament to how good that Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay match was. So the music comes, the Young Bucks coming down. I'm looking at them. You're going down. You actually, it's funny because I said I'd talk about it as we go through. You can literally see me screaming at Matt and Nick, you're going down, right?
You should have thrown stuff at them. I was begging for you to throw shit at them, but unfortunately you didn't get, I guess my tomatoes didn't make it in the mail.
Yes. So I was like, you're going down. And then the music hits, FTR's music. You know, the music, the smoke, they come through the smoke. Ooh, it's Dax and Cash. And it's funny because it's this point, you kind of see me, and then you can see Cash directly point at me. And I was like, oh yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Those are my boys. Those boys from, I love them. Like I said, they could have never spoken to me, and I mean this. And if you know me before I ever met FTR, you will know this is true. They could have never spoken to me. They could have never been nice to me. They could have never done anything they've done for me. And they were already my favorite tag team. So the more I've gotten to know them, it's just been like, yeah, absolutely. And I was prepared for this match somehow to not live up to the hype. Fuck, was I wrong. They come out. Young Bucks, it's a ladder match. This is the Young Bucks specialty. This is what the Young Bucks do, ladders. So the first 2 minutes, they're telling the story perfectly. The Young Bucks are just one step ahead of FTR. Young Bucks are the faster tag team. When you're talking about pure quickness, pure speed, the Young Bucks have the advantage. And that's why I love this combination, because there are clear advantages for each team. Young Bucks have the advantage. They're up. But man, so the FTR gets to the outside of the ring, Dax has gone to hit one of the ladders like right in front of me before when he's outside, and then he gets busted open, and I'm just like, okay. Then they finally get close. Young Bucks were sticking and moving. Then FTR gets close, and then they start banging. And out of nowhere, from the ladder, they hit a shatter machine. And of course, what does the ladder match do? It negates the shatter machine. There is no 1, 2, 3. So the shatter machine means nothing. So, but they sell it. And Cash Wheeler. Hey, he's that kid that you grew up with that was always in a fucking tree. They look at a tree and they're like, oh yeah, I can climb it. Because that man will jump off anything possible. So the first dive that I remember, he goes through that they hit Dax with the ladder, and then he goes through and and knocks them both into the ladder and does the kick, right? And then he hits the second dive going, I think, from right to left. Then the dude busts out a fucking moonsault off a ladder onto the Young Bucks. Wasn't expecting that. At the same time, it was one where the Bucks put Cash through the ladder, and then Dax pile drive the other one to where there was just 1-1. And then pretty much the ultimate down. I mean, because this match was fucking crazy. And I'd say the first 3 to 5 minutes while they were setting up and warming up, the crowd wasn't into it. But as soon as they broke out a table and they broke out the chairs, and the Young Bucks sandwiched him in the ladder and hit him with the chairs, oh my God, the crowd went crazy. And it was like, I'm watching the match. I'm completely focused. But I hear... And I know you probably paid attention to it. It was like someone flipped on a light switch on the crowd. And it was like, they went from, to like, and they went crazy. And I was like, and in that moment, I can tell you, I was like, the motherfuckers did it. The motherfuckers followed Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay. At that point, I was able to chill and watch the rest of the match. Cash is Evil Knievel in the ring. That one where he jumped and they moved out the way and he went through the table. He's done something like that. Seriously. You want to talk about all the safety nerds out there. Every time someone took a bump, the camera went off on him. Doc Sampson was right there, and a referee was right there waiting for them to get the thumbs up, and then good. And they kept going. So now we get to talk about the end of the match, and then we're probably going to hand this over. Because, again, I'm going to probably go into greater detail because I'll watch it again. I'll take notes, and I'll go into greater detail when I talk about it with Sam. But, yeah, I was waiting on it to happen. Everybody was waiting on it to happen. I had been wrong on all of my calls for the night. Like, I called every winner, but I kept calling for returns, and I was wrong on all of them. So I was like, maybe I am wrong. Maybe they go with FTR as the tag team. Then this moment came, and Dax is crawling up, and there's just Dax and the Young Bucks. And I was like, this fucker's about to come. And because I didn't see him in the crowd like some others did, I saw a person jump over the crowd in the Sting mask, and I was like, fuck, Jack Perry. Jack Perry jumps in, Cheesecake in the security guard to grab him after he knocks down Dax. Nick goes up and grabs the belts, and he like Nick's facial expression, gold. Nick's facial expression is fucking gold, and it's fucking gold. Like he's like, I'm genuinely shocked. He played it really, really well. They grabbed the titles, the 3-time tag team champions. On the way out, as Jack Perry's going away out, he's getting carried by security. He sticks up the 3 fingers and he does the elite symbol. And Nick throws it back at him. And I was like, fuck, they're good. Oh my God, they're amazing. I was like, dude, AEW, I'm just saying. I'm like, I'm just saying. They just do this well. TK, the Young Bucks, FTR, Jungle Boy, who all put this match together. They just get it. They get what entertains. And this was one on an entertainer match with an entertaining ending. And it's going to have to, it's going to go down. And they're going to have a rematch. And whether it's a cage match or dog collar match or whatever match they do, it's going to happen. And it was just like, and you're going to remember this match. Man, it was great. As far as stars, me, of course it was 5 stars. Of course. It's me. It's FTR. It's the Young Bucks. All their matches are 5 stars. God damn it. So, you go with whatever rating you want, but 5. I ain't hearing any other thing. But this match was great. And it was especially great. A special feather in both of their hats is that the impossible task of following one of the greatest matches ever performed. They did it, and they got the crowd back. That's excellent. That is who FTR is. That is who the Young Bucks is. That is who they are together as a foursome. So, I've talked about the match. I loved on the match. Oh, yeah. I basically jacked off to the match. Because, that's what they're calling the groups. Now, Austin, have at it, brother.
Alrighty then. Main thing I'll complain about first is, God, I wanted Motor City Machine Guns right then and there. I was like, give me Motor City Machine Guns right now. I was like, I have nothing right now. I have no reason to be happy. I have no reason to be enjoying any of this. Give me Motor City Machine Guns now. I know they're on the way. I'm waiting for them to show up. Give them to me now. Because otherwise, I'm stewing. I didn't get Motor City Machine Guns. Made me very sad. Doesn't mean I won't get them this Wednesday. Doesn't mean I won't get them in the next couple of weeks or whatnot. But God damn it, I wanted them so badly. I wanted them so badly. That's probably a majority of my anger right now, is just the fact that I didn't get Motor City Machine Guns. That was one of my returns that I was like, we're getting the debut Motor City Machine Guns because, all the Bucks will win and everyone will be, acting like they hate them, but they don't hate them. They're not heels. They're playing to the crowd. But people be like, oh, man, da-da-da-da. And then that's when Motor City Machine Guns would come out, and then, we'd build to that, and it'd be huge. And, we'd see one of their best rivals go at it with them, and we'd have Motor City Machine Guns legitimately all elite, not just there for a one-time appearance. So that was what I was mainly hoping for. I didn't get it, and I'm very bitter about it. I want to make this very, very, very clear. I am hopeful for Jack Perry's return. That now he can really take this and run with it. I'm really, really hopeful for it. Because a lot of y'all have shitty memories. And a lot of y'all forgot how bad that first heel feud was for Jack Perry. Dude couldn't draw heat if he shoved his head into a microwave. It was just not good. He wasn't getting good reactions. And ironically, the only good reaction he got is when he wanted to stir up internet drama. But now he's been in New Japan. He's done some good work there. He's been able to really get himself some good heat, for better or for worse. And I think there's a very good chance that he can really set the tone for what he wants to be in AEW. He's already working with two guys who are just fucking pricks to begin with. So that helps. But I hope he's able to really establish himself as a good heel. I want to see who he feuds with, specifically. That's the main thing, and see what he's able to work off of and what he's able to really do. Give him some opportunities to cut promos and stuff like that. I think there's a good chance that he can do some good stuff. I was debating on whether or not I wanted to say this one bit, though, because I think it might make some people a bit angry. But I just want this to be acknowledged. You can be completely fine with this. And like I said, I heard plenty of lovely reactions for this when it happened. Floyd can attest to that. I heard "Oh, Cry Me a River." I heard EVP chants throughout the entirety of the match. They can claim they're heels, but they're massive baby faces to the AEW audience, and that's fine. What am I going to care about? They get reactions, they do good matches. So if I work myself into a shoot, then that's all people are going to say is oh, you worked yourself into a shoot. And then I'm just stewing in my own anger. So there's no real point in that. I got nothing left for that. Same goes for Jack Perry. But I just want this to be acknowledged by the AEW fans, and you can be completely okay with it. You can like it. You can love it. Just acknowledge that this is what this is now, and be okay with it being called that, because this is what it is to me, and I feel like this is what it is now. That group standing in the ring is not the Elite. They may call themselves the Elite. They may feature members that were part of the Elite. They ain't the Elite. They ain't the guys that I fell in love with all those years ago, back in 2016, 2017, 2018, when they sold out a 10,000 person arena on their brand alone for an independent wrestling show. They aren't the guys that helped father this new era of professional wrestling, where there's now alternatives and there's now other places for people to work and make good money and have opportunities. They didn't foster what was now the most healthy ecosystem in professional wrestling that we've had in quite some time. That's not who they are. It's not the Elite. It's the CM Punk hate club. It's the CM Punk hate brigade, featuring Kazuchika Okada. Honestly, only reason I think it's featuring Kazuchika Okada is because Kenta wouldn't return their calls. I have no proof of that. It is full tinfoil cap. It is full paranoid, schizophrenic, goddamn paranoid conspiracy theory shit. But it's firmly what I believe, and you won't change my mind about it. It's a group that was founded on hating CM Punk. And if you're going to come at me for being well, why are you saying that? That's not what the story is. That's not what they've been building. That all changed the moment they decided to show the footage. The moment you showed the London All-In footage, that's what your group is based around. That's how you were able to introduce Jack Perry back into AEW. Matt was wearing the scapegoat shirt. That was the first instance. And they used the footage of him getting choked out as a way to bring him back. So that's what the group is. It's not the Elite. The only thing about it that is related to what the Elite originally was is a former IWGP heavyweight champion is carrying the fuck bucks. That is the only contingency that has lasted throughout the entirety of the group. It is not the Elite. So please just admit that that's what this is. If you like it, go for it. I got no problem if you like it, as long as you acknowledge that that's what this is. It is a group of 3 children who are angry at a guy who doesn't work here anymore and are only comfortable shitting on him now because he's not within choking distance. That is literally where this is. And again, I would not be bringing this up if you didn't show the footage 2 weeks ago. You wanted it to be part of the storyline. Tony Khan said there was a very good reason to build the storyline for this. Okay, it's part of the story, which means this is what the group is now. This is what their whole basis is. Ironically, we are getting CM/FTR versus the Elite without CM. That's what we are getting right now. The most important factor of the entire feud is not a part of it, and it feels fucking just wrong. Because it's happening while if all of this was happening with Punk still working in the company, I would say it'd be credible stuff. It's the same type of shit Drew's doing right now, where he's able to use all of this shit, all of this baggage, and use it to build to a match. You guys aren't building to a match that involves CM Punk. You guys are building towards how much you hate him and how much the fans hate him, so you can play to the crowd. All I'm saying, they're not the Elite. They're the CM Punk hate brigade. Call them what it is. Make the t-shirts. Bring the signs. It's what they are. Just accept that, and then we're fine. I got no problems if you like it. I got no problems if you're okay with it. Just accept that that's what it is from this point onward. I am hoping for a very quick appearance where we're going to get Motor City Machine Gun so I can see Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin kick the living shit out of those shitheads. But just acknowledge that this is what it is, and we're all good. It's the only thing I wanted to say. Match was great. They are great workers. They do insanely good stuff. It's a ladder match in the Young Bucks. You're going to get insanely good wrestling when it's the Young Bucks in a ladder match. I'm hopeful Jack Perry has learned how to actually draw heat. I'm hopeful that he's able to carry this and make it into positive shit. Because I want the best for AEW. You want to know, this will be the last thing I say on the whole matter. You want to know what I am in this situation? Because y'all are going to think that I'm being wrong in this whole thing. You're going to think I'm being unfair. I'm going to tell you right now what I feel like right now in this whole matter. I am a child of divorce. I am a friend of 2 people who are in a relationship. I'm friends with the boyfriend. I'm friends with the girlfriend. And I was friends with them before they got together. And when they got together, I was like, this is perfect. You guys are a perfect fit for each other. This is the best thing ever. And we can do so much cool shit together. And then they had the worst breakup ever. And now I'm caught in the middle of it. The boyfriend hates the girlfriend hates the boyfriend. They're fucking trying to get each other's shit out of the house, and I'm in the middle trying to like play peacekeeper and all this type of stuff. And now I'm at the point where I'm just so tired I have to pick a side. Where I'm like, I don't want to deal with the drama anymore. You're being ridiculous, but at this point I have to pick a side. So if you're wondering why I feel like this, I'm a child of divorce. That's why I'm like this. I've loved AEW and the Young Bucks and the Elite since before they had a TV deal, since before All In. I have loved CM Punk since I first started watching pro wrestling in 2009. I am a child of divorce, and that's why I'm this mad. I'll leave it at that. I hope I've gotten all my thoughts out. They're not the Elite. They're the We Hate CM Punk Club. It's what they are. Unless Floyd has any other things he wants to add to that, I will gladly move on to the main event.
Well, let's move on to the main event, sir.
Okay, you can put a time code in if you want people to skip this shit. But moving on to the main event, Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland, AEW World Championship on the line. And Swerve Strickland comes out, full Killmonger outfit, and I was so hyped. When I saw him come out, Black Panther suit with the Killmonger outfit, I was like, dude, come on. Like, this is perfect. This is such good stuff. And the crowd was just wanting it. They wanted it to happen. They were waiting for it to happen. They were building for it. Joe continuously being such a dominant champion. I love the moment where he proceeded to do his traditional, you're going to jump off the top rope. I'm just going to walk out of the way. And then Swerve lands on his feet and he's just ready to go and start battering Samoa Joe. Swerve got planted on the announcer's desk at one point, and he was getting beat up and choked out for a good period of the match. German suplex, I felt like was being thrown onto Swerve. Eventually, Joe is getting so concerned after he hits the Muscle Buster and he doesn't get the pinfall. He proceeds to grab the world title. Also, forgot to mention too, because they removed the padding from the arena floor, and oh my God, Joe power slammed him onto concrete, and it looked like a bitch it looked like a bitch of a fucking bump to take. But after Samoa Joe can't win with the Muscle Buster, he grabs the world title and he's going to bring it in, but he gets hit with the house call. He then proceeds to climb up to the top rope, and he's going to go ahead and he's going to throw on the Swerve Stomp. He jumps over Samoa Joe, grabs he grabs well, actually, sorry, I forgot to mention too, because Joe was going to use the belt. Nana then tried to let the referee know, hey, this is happening. While the referee is trying to take care of Nana, Swerve takes the belt and swings it at Samoa Joe, but then gets choked out in the coquina clutch. And there's a moment where he's like almost gone. And the moment where he's like just dead-eyed staring into the camera was such a good moment, I felt like. And then eventually he finally comes to and he gets out of it. And as they get to the top rope, that's when Swerve Strickland power bombs him off the turnbuckles, gets to the top, ready to go. Swerve Stomp is connected. He covers Samoa Joe, and Swerve Strickland is the first African-American AEW World Champion in company history. Let's fucking go. Such an amazing moment to close out this show that was so good. And Swerve has established himself as such a star, and I could not be more happy for this dude. This is just, I got nothing else, man. It was so fucking good.
Dude, this wasn't a match. It was a coronation.
Yes.
If you did like, oh, this match was okay or whatever, it wasn't about that. It was about Swerve. It was about him being better than Joe. They put on a good match. They put on a good match for what it was. And I'm not dismissing, because this is a wrestling company that puts on great matches. But just like with the Willow match, it wasn't about putting on a 5-star match. It was about establishing Willow as the champion. This match wasn't about putting on a 5-star match. I know Samoa Joe and Swerve could probably still do 5-star matches. But this wasn't what their match needed to be. It was about a definitive win, which Swerve got, and a new champion. And not just a new champion, a new face of AEW. And not just a new face of AEW, a black face of AEW. Not just a black face of AEW. Somebody that was kind of written off for dead somewhere else. Under 3 years later, reestablish himself. Look at the physique. Look at how the music. Look at everything that has went into his presentation. This man started as one thing and worked his ass off. It worked his ass off to improve. Took notes, told better stories, got over even when he was losing. And now he is wearing the crown as the champion of AEW. I'm like, I could talk about the match. I could talk about moves, all that stuff. It's not about that this time. It's not about this. This felt like, I remember I was lucky enough, because Swerve talked about this in the press conference. Talked about seeing Kofi Kingston win the title. I was lucky enough. I don't know how many people it is, but at most it could be like maybe 50. I was one of the people that was at Kofi Mania, at WrestleMania 35, and I was at there for Swerve. And at Kofi Mania, it was special. It was monumental. It was a tear in the eye. And then they followed up, and he was basically treated, to me, like a mid-carder with the world champion. Kofi Kingston was never the face of WWE. Even his world title match, at that WrestleMania, it wasn't the main event. It was the most over match. It was the best built match. It wasn't the main event. Swerve and Joe was the main event of Dynasty. On a show that had Kazuchika Okada, Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson, the Young Bucks, FTR, loaded, Adam Copeland, Malachi Black, on a show that had all of these superstars, all of these main eventers, people that whole companies have been built around. The main eventer and the winner of the show was an African-American man named Swerve Strickland. Man, powerful, amazing, loved being there for it.
Yeah.
And
I was so jealous that you were there, dude. I was so jealous. I wish I had been there with you.
And Tony Khan, I got one thing to say to you. I know you don't listen to the show, but if you happen to listen to the show, where's my fucking chair? I bought a third row seat because I wanted a fucking chair for when Swerve won the title so I could have him fucking sign the chair and have the first black world heavyweight champion have a signed chair from the show he main evented. And what? For the first time since Double or Nothing, no, it was All Out 2019, we didn't get to keep the fucking chair. What the fuck?
Crazy.
What the fuck? I was angry when I got there. And after the show, I was less angry because it was an amazing show. But the reason I upgraded is because I got the chair and I was like, I'm going to get Swerve to sign the chair. I am going to get Mr. Strickland to sign this fucking chair. And yeah, it didn't happen. It is what it is. I'm woosah. I'm calm. We're okay. It is what it is. But come on, man. Y'all got to give us warnings. I mean, let me just tell you, there were people, the premium sit people that sit up front for a lot of your shows that were very, very not happy that the chairs didn't come with the seats.
Yeah, that was nuts.
No, like there was like, you know me, I keep a pretty wide circle as far as the AEW fan base. And there was overall not happy. That is beside the point. Dude, I put my fist on my forehead right now because he came out in the Killmonger thing. Because he wasn't coming out to get rewarded the throne. He was coming out to take it like Killmonger did.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and that's such a powerful thing. Like, referencing the Black Panther in your thing. And, dude, I there's so many people. I can honestly say at the beginning of his run, I'm gonna put myself on blast. I thought his ceiling was TNT champion. Ceiling. I was like, he'll make a good TNT champion. You know, maybe they'll use him in ROH. Maybe he'll be the ROH champion. They had him in the tag match. Oh, okay, he's with Keith Lee. He's the Jannetty of the group. This group is to launch Keith Lee to the next action, I'm sure, because Keith Lee's going to be our first black heavyweight champion. When Keith Lee signed, go back and listen to the show. I think Austin probably remembers. I said Keith Lee was going to be our first black heavyweight champion in AEW. Completely underestimated him in every way.
Yeah.
I did the same thing with Darby. I don't know what it is about people from Washington. I just underestimate them, I guess. And then you know what they do? They slap me in the face with their talent. And that is why I tell people when it comes to Stanism, and this is going to a bigger thing, when it comes to Stanism and WWEism and AEWism and just like, oh, I am this guy's person, and no matter what he does, like, cut that shit out, right? Remain liquid. Remain fluid. Life is about gathering information and changing based on it. Don't establish yourself with somebody so hard that you like someone else better, but you can't fucking say it because you've made it your fucking personality. I didn't like Swerve at first. He changed my mind because I allowed my mind to be changed.
Yeah. I wasn't huge into Shane Taylor. He's changing my mind right now.
Because you allow your mind to be changed. Your initial thought doesn't have to be the thought that you always have. And I know I'm saying this and like, oh, because this is not a soapbox. This is like, wrestling is supposed to be fun. Entertainment is supposed to be fun, and it's supposed to be evolved, and we're supposed to love it. And honestly, I don't know many people that love pro wrestling more than me. And when it's at its best, you allow the people, the artists, to put out what they do, and then you decide if you like it. Don't decide before then. Don't decide. You let them do what they do, and they know. I didn't like what Swerve brought. Now I do. I didn't like what Darby, like what I initially saw. Now I do. Like, allow yourself to be flexible. And I love this so much. And I'm so happy for Swerve. I am so happy. I got the rare opportunity after to, because of Mr. Rich Latta, to go to basically a private party where I got to party with Swerve and Chris Jericho and Shane Taylor.
And it was
that. Fucking amazing. Fucking one of the best nights of my life. I will never thank Rich. Rich, as far as I'm concerned, you never have to pay for anything ever. Not with me. Not with me. Not with me. If you go by yourself, yeah, you're on your own. But when you with me, oh, you ride for free, brother. That's how it rolls. Once in a lifetime experience after the match. Because, like, literally after the show, I'm with Dave. After the show, we literally could have went back to our hotel and went to sleep, and I would have been fine. It would still been one of the best shows I ever had. But then you add that experience on it, dude. It's fucking untouchable. It's untouchable.
That's so cool. Like, I'm so happy you got to experience that,
dude. I'm sitting here shrugging my shoulders because what is this life? And people are like, why do you love professional wrestling? I'm like, dude, I could write a book on why I love it, but the most reason I love it is the people I've met. Rich could have been like, man, y'all got to go back to the room. I ain't messing up my time. So
sure,
y'all got to go back to the room. I'll holler at you later. And I wouldn't have been mad at him, right? Do you? But he was like, dude, my boys are coming with me. And yeah, tip hat to a real N-word. I ain't gonna say it for y'all. But he's a real one. He's a real one. Like, not too many people I'm gonna speak more positively about than Mr. Latta. So yeah. Overall, man, this pay-per-view, this show was amazing. I love that the face of the company happens to be the same color as mine. Not something I'm overly concerned about on a lot of times. I'll tell people I'm not. It's not something I'm overly concerned about. But then it happens, and this feels real, and this feels like an elevation, and this feels like he's going to be a main eventer as long as he's with AEW. He's going to be a star. He's going to be an attraction. He's going to be used to sell tickets. He's not going to be back in the mid-card and losing tag team matches again in a year. That's not going to be his trajectory. His trajectory is nothing but up. Winning the title for some people is the story being finished. Again, I don't know other way to say it. So, again, this is not about Cody. I just don't know anywhere else to say it. How many synonyms for finishing a story are there, sir?
Not a ton, honestly.
Especially not in wrestling. Yeah, so I'm just like, so this is the beginning of his story. The beginning of his story. The beginning of Swerve Strickland is right now. Because it's not about what he won. That was great. It's about him establishing himself as the guy of this company. And when, like, other than The Rock, has a black man been the guy in any company? Because Kofi was the champion, but he wasn't the guy. Becky was the man at that time. The most important star in WWE at that time was Becky Lynch. No shout out and no shot to Kofi. It's basically, I'm arguing at how you were presented after you won, not at you. So, that being said, Swerve's the man. He's going to main event. He's going to be on the show. He's going to be the world champion. Yeah. So, I'll ask Austin. Austin is very Caucasian. Does it, black champion, what does that mean to you, just in general? And if it doesn't mean anything, feel free to say it. I would say wondering.
More so because we were waiting for who that would be, because I feel like they were wondering who that could be. I'm just happy it's Swerve, because Swerve has worked his ass off. He has done so much insanely good stuff in AEW, and seeing the way that this man has grown, the feuds that he's had, the moments he's had, his character work just be outstanding. The way he and Nana have become mega stars in this company, I'm just happy it's him. I think it's so cool that he gets to be that name, to be when people ask who the first African American AEW World Champion is, it's Swerve Strickland. Let alone the fact that there's only been 6, I believe, AEW World Champions, and he can be part of that incredible list of champions.
Yeah.
List that all those champions are just top tier, every single one of them.
TK doesn't just throw the title on people. You know what I mean?
That title has been very much it stays with some people, and it's when you win that title, it means so much. So that's why it's just the fact that we do have a black AEW World Champion is just great representation and all that. I'm all for that. But the fact that it's Swerve is just super special, just because of how hard that man works, where he came from, how he was a cast off, and he's been rewarded for his hard work in a place where, if AEW didn't existed, maybe Swerve doesn't get a chance to do something like this. Maybe he doesn't get that opportunity to showcase what he can do, just because the one other company was we don't feel like we have anything for you. Best of luck in your future endeavors. But because AEW is an option, he's been able to shine, and now he's one of the biggest wrestling stars out there right now. I think that's huge.
Humongous.
Yep. That is going to do it, though, I think, for our AEW Dynasty review. We're going to real quickly preview what we have coming up tomorrow. We're recording this, obviously, the night before Dynamite, but on Dynamite in Jacksonville, what we have coming up. First of all, we're going to have a championship celebration for Willow Nightingale off of her championship win of the TBS title, so she'll have a celebration. We're going to have Anna Jay versus Mina Shirakawa, so that'll be a match that we'll get. We're also going to have the Who's Your Best Friend segment with Orange Cassidy and Trent asking Chuck Taylor basically where he stands in all of this type of stuff. We will be hearing from the brand new FTW champion, the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho. And we'll have an IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match between Powerhouse Hobbs and Jon Moxley. All of this taking place in Daly's Place, as well as an AEW World Championship Eliminator match between the Ring of Honor Television Champion, Kyle Fletcher, and your new AEW World Champion, Swerve Strickland. So Kyle gets the win over Swerve. He'll get a future title match against Swerve somewhere down the line. That is everything that has been announced for this upcoming show. I also believe we'll probably see Mercedes Moné appear as well. But yeah, that's everything we got.
I'm excited. I'm excited for Willow's party.
I'm excited for that as well.
And Swerve and Kyle Fletcher gonna tear it down. I hope they get 3 segments, because
for real,
the match is gonna be killer. Kyle Fletcher as a singles wrestler, never seen him have a bad match, not once. So I am fully, the bar is fully right there, just ready for him to come out and kill it. It's going to be a great show. not a lot of news this week. So if you saw it, I didn't have any news. There was not a lot.
It was literally just the pay-per-view and this.
If
you guys end up doing another show, by the way, for the Dynamite review, I unfortunately won't be able to be a part of it because of the NFL draft. So just want to let you guys know that here and now. Yeah. Busy weekend for me. Very, very busy weekend for me.
The most important pick on Thursday, the 32nd pick. Boom.
I'm just interested to see if the Lions trade out of the first round. If they trade out of the first round when the draft comes to Detroit, I think so many people are going to be mad.
See, all I know is whoever is the 32nd pick is going to be a part of the Super Bowl winning team next year. So that's pretty cool.
Okay, well, with that, we'll move off of that. We don't need to hear that anymore. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to our AEW Dynasty review. Outstanding pay-per-view. Another banger that AEW has put out. Their pay-per-views constantly always show out. Shout out to Floyd and his new best friend, Anthony Bowens, and them scissoring together. Love to see it. He's welcome on the show anytime he likes, since, they're bestest of buds. Make sure you guys download this fine show wherever you get your podcast, wherever you're listening to us. And be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Rate and review. And be sure to follow us on Twitter so you can keep up with us. It's at AT Elite Pod. You can also follow at Social Suplex, who make this show possible. Check out all the other shows they have on their network. I am at Austin Szumowicz, SZUMOWICZ. And Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. Hope you enjoy Dynamite tonight when you guys are listening to this. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you guys are going to Daly's Place, have a great time. And yeah, shout out to AEW Dynasty, another incredible AEW pay-per-view. My buddy Floyd, y'all can go ahead and take us home for this episode of All Things Elite.
Yes. All right. So shout out to everyone that I met this weekend, or that I, hung out with. This is the first time I spent any extended time around Montezi, and I got to meet his grandma, and she was awesome. Thank you to Dave and Rich for putting up with me all weekend. Dave, you gotta stop snoring. I love you. But it was a really fun weekend. The hotel was great. Got around the town. People, St. Louis drive crazy, but to all of you, just enjoy this. Just enjoy this. I have been a wrestling fan the majority, if not all, of my life, and I can honestly say, maybe other than the 83 weeks of the Monday Night Wars, this has been my best time in my life to be a wrestling fan. So don't let stanism, tribalism, any of that stop you from enjoying all of it. If you like somebody on NXT, watch it. If you like somebody on WWE, SmackDown or Raw, watch it. Impact, New Japan. There's more wrestling available than at any time ever. I am pretty sure at any day. I know 5 days a week you get at least 2 hours of wrestling. So I'm thinking the other 2 days, which I guess Thursday is Impact. So I know of 6 days a week that you get at least 2 hours of wrestling. So it's just it's the best time in the world to be a wrestling fan. But don't just let the little things stop you from enjoying it, because it's great. And when done correctly, you saw it brings emotions, it brings tears, it brings happiness, it brings joys, it makes friends, it makes enemies. It is the greatest art form ever. With that, I will leave you how I always leave you. Whether it's home, work, or school, always do your best to be elite.